सधैँ राइटिङ गर्यो भने we feel little monotonous as well. Let's begin with our tenses. Last time we have been on present perfect. Now get exercise book in front of you. Present perfect continuous. But before starting present perfect continuous, there are phrases such as for number 4, phrases such as it's the first, it's the second, it's the third, etc. If phrases like it's the first, it's the second, it's the third with time comes, then we use present perfect. It is usually these time phrases are usually followed by present perfect tense. It's the first time that I have example. It's the first time that I have been on the train. When we have these phrases, the sentence after that, the phrase is followed especially by present perfect tense. So one way to identify whether we should include present perfect form of the verb or not in such sentences is to look at the phrase as well. This phrase also indicates the usage of present perfect tense. It is only the second time that she has addressed the public. It's only the second time that she has addressed the public. It is the only book I have written. This phrase also, it is the only. Take present perfect tense. Usage of present perfect tense. Just phrases, words and phrases like just, has already been done. When we have these phrases, then also we use most of the time present perfect tense. Now present perfect continuous tense. Present perfect continuous tense talk about the actions that happened, that started in the past, continue to the present, and will probably, BABPRO, probably may continue in the future. Present perfect continuous tense is used to denote actions that started in the past and continue to the present and is likely to go on for some more time in the future. Example, I have been working all morning. Means my work started earlier in the morning, it still goes on, and it may likely to go up to 11 o'clock and may continue in the future time as well. And for example, we use future perfect continuous, especially with time expressions like I have been waiting for 3 hours. So this time expressions like this. We have been living here since my 5th birthday, like this one. Means we have lived here in the past and continue here, and we may likely to live here for some more time. Then we use present perfect tense. For here denotes duration, since here denotes starting point. Now, simple past. Why have a look at it once again. Future present perfect and present perfect continuous. Talking about past and simple past, let's begin with simple past now. Past tense. Simple past. Simple past tense is used for an action that completed at a definite time in the past. Is used to denote an action that completed
I have been
at a definite time in the past. Example, we had exams at school. We had exams at school last week. So last week, it's a definite time in the past. We use simple past tense. Next, Milan left school last year. Last year, definite time, tokeku, definite means. टोकेर टाइम पास्ट टाइम बतायो जनाउँछ भने we use simple past tense, one usage. The other one is for past actions that won't happen again, that won't get repeated. Example, Devkota wrote a lot of words. Now he won't be writing it again. For past action that won't happen again and again repeatedly. For regular or habitual actions in the past. For regular or habitual actions in the past, we use simple past tense. For example, he came here every day. He came here every day when he lived in when we were at school, we played volleyball a lot. Remember this. Both the above kept in past tense. Now, past continuous. Past continuous. We use past continuous to denote an action that was in the middle of happening, that was in the middle of the happening at a stated means mentioned, given at a stated time in the past. Example, at 7:00 last night. At 7:00 last night, he was reading a book. Because here we have stated time in the past, we use past continuous. Next usage is for the past, to denote the past action which was in progress when another action interrupted, then we use past continuous for the interrupted action and simple past for the action which interrupts it. Means for the first action we use past continuous and for the second action we use simple past. I'll give an example later. Note the difference between when and while also. When to introduce simple past, while to introduce the past continuous. Use when to introduce the simple past action and while to introduce the past continuous action. Use when to introduce past action while to introduce continuous action. For example, while I was eating my dinner, while I was eating my or having my dinner, my tooth fell. Or I was eating my dinner when my tooth fell. Ravi saw me while I was walking home. This is important as well. Most of the time, you will be asked one of the questions in past continuous. One is in past, simple past. One action, my tooth fell. This is always the second action. This is second action because it's followed by when. Second action always in simple past. The first action always in past continuous. When two actions happen simultaneously in the past, and for the first action we use past continuous. The color blue suggests first action, color green suggests second action. बुझियो यो? You बुझियो?
Yes, sir.
So this rule is very, very important. From the point of view of your exam, most of the time, if a question is asked under the section tense, then probably this question, most of the time. First, perfect. This is important. यसलाई अर्को गरी सजिलो गरी बुझ्दा यसरी पनि बुझ्न सक्यो. जस्तो if two actions happen simultaneously, एकपछि लगातार अर्को तुरुन्तै अर्को. If two actions happen simultaneously in the past, then for the first action we use past continuous and we use while with it, whereas for the second action we use simple past. Just if you look in this sentence, यसमा पहिला भइरहेको फर्स्टमा भइरहेको एक्सन that you are eating, खाँदा खाँदै दाँत झरेको चाहिँ नि the second action, न कि पहिला दाँत झर्यो and you start eating. So this way you know that this was first action and this was second action. And sometimes with the first action we use while with past continuous, with the more recent action from the time of speaking, or the second action we use when and we use simple past. This is very important from the point of view of your exam, this rule. Now past perfect. Past perfect, write PP. Okay, past perfect tense is used for a past action which happened before another past action or before a stated time in the past. The action which happened earlier in the past is in the past. The action which happened earlier, in the past is in the past perfect, and the past perfect and the action that and it happened later is in the simple past. This one also is very, very important. Look at the rule, read the rules once again. Sorry, usage once again. The past perfect tense is used for the past action which happened before another past action or before a stated time in the past. For example, the action which happened earlier in the past is in the past perfect for the first action. You do it, your past continuous code, the highlighted one, red, written in red, and this one are important. There are others as well. For example, my mother had finished cooking when the guests arrived. Had finished, guests arrived. One usage of past perfect. Another usage of past perfect is sorry. Another usage of past perfect is, first let me give another example. By the time I got there, I reached there, everyone had already left. I got there, past tense, had already left, had left, past perfect. Next, I had done my homework when my friend rang the bell. Again, simple past action, had done, past perfect. We also use past perfect tense when we say it was the first time, second time, third time. We also use past perfect tense when we say it was the first time, second time, third time, etc. For example, I was scared because it was the first time I had tried teaching online. I had tried climbing the mountain, etc. Now past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous. You think I have to look at the book. Done. That had started and finished in the past before another past action. We use past perfect continuous tense to emphasize the duration of an action that started and finished in the past, that started and finished in the past before another past action that started and finished in the past before another past action or a stated time in the past. Stated means mentioned time in the past, and usually with, since we usually with for or since. Example, he had been teaching for the same school for 20 for the same school for 20 years before he finally finally retired. Retired. One indication that we use past perfect continuous is for and another indication is this. For an action that lasted for some time, another usage is for an action past perfect continuous. I had been teaching. Yes, for an action that lasted for some time. Lasted for some time in the past. Lasted for some time in the past and whose result was visible. Lasted for some time in the past and whose the result of which was visible in the past. Example, they had been working in the field. They had been working in the field all day yesterday, so they were very tired. So they were very tired when I saw them. So they were very tired when I saw them. Indicated time when I saw them. Stated time in the past. Had been working. One indication is this. Most of the time to use past perfect continuous. Now, simple future. Simple future tense is used for the action which may or likely to happen in the future. Which may happen or likely to talk about for the actions which may or likely to happen in the future. I will visit Pokhara one day. Pokhara one day. I will call you with second person you and first person plural we usually use shall. Usually, eh? Next. First one. Second one. With verbs like think, expect, believe. think, expect, believe, etc. And with the expressions like I am sure, I'm afraid, I'm sure, I am afraid. See, we use and also with adverbs like probably, perhaps. See, we use simple future tense. For example, I think I will visit my grandfather this afternoon. I am sure I will pass the exam. I will probably call you in the afternoon. I am afraid I won't be able to take you to the cinema. Perhaps she will give me a call. Perhaps, probably, I'm sure, I think, I believe. Simple future. With these time expressions, with certain time expressions also we use simple future tense. With certain time expressions like tomorrow, tonight, the day after tomorrow, next day, next week, next year, in a month, etc. We use simple future tense. We'll type the letter tomorrow. She will come to see me next week, etc. Is it clear until now? उमेश हमालजी अहिलेसम्म बुझिरहनु भएको छ?
ओके सर, मैले चाहिँ हेरिरहेको छु, आज बुझ्ने कोसिस गरिरहेको छु सर।
बुझिरहेको छैन?
बुझिरहेको छु। अब म रिपिट गर्छु। यो टेन्स एक्सपेक्टमा अलिकति मलाई गाह्रो भइरहेको छ सर, हैन?
हैन, यो जुन नोट अहिले बनाइरहेछ तर यो सार्नु पर्दैन। एक दुईटा उयो दुईटा चाहिँ नि एकदम याद गर्नुपर्छ सारेर।
होइन र व्हाइलको प्रयोग त चाहिँ मैले कम्प्लिटली घोक्नै गरेँ सर होइन घोकेरै गरेँ
यस्तो while continuous action when not continuous action सक्यो यति हो सजिलो यो simple future is not that important and we do not use simple future with expressions like just though there are certain expressions like while
कन्फ्युजिङ क्वेसन आउँछ नि त
हजुर
सिम्पल फ्युचरमा अलिकति ट्रान्सफर्मेसनमा त्यो हुन्छ नि सब्जेक्टको चेन्ज गर्नेलाई चाहिँ अलिक गाह्रो गराउँछ अरू चाहिँ फ्युचरको त्यति इम्पोर्टेन्ट
I think I will visit my I am sure I think I will भन्यो भने यो चेन्ज गर्ने I think I believe आयो भने we will do that later on don't worry फेरि गरौँला टाइम छँदैछ and we do not use simple future after simple future tense यो भन्दा पछाडी युज गरिदैन we do not use simple future tense simple future after these while until before as soon as unless बिर्से unless if unless if and time expression when we do not use simple future tense after this for example I will own you when I will come when I come back I will phone you when I will come back no after these expressions we do not use simple future this is important एकदमै बुझिराख्नुपर्छ लेखाइमा next जस्तो he won't rise high in life unless he will work hard no unless he works hard future continuous the future continuous is used for an action I will be watching football I will be watching the football match which will be for an action which will be in progress at a stated future time example he will be washing his clothes tomorrow morning the given future time so will be plus before it also future continuous tense also describes future plans or regular activities in the future example he will be taking the examination next week. Next, future perfect. Future perfect tense is used for an action which will be finished before a stated time, for an action which will be finished before a stated time. And it especially takes the expression likes. It especially takes the expression like by the time before, or sometimes by this time, by then. Yo आयो भने future. For example, I will have finished this book by next week. Here we have time expressions.
By the future time, by the time matrai cha?
By future time, next week means the future time. By a stated future time. I will have left this place by tomorrow morning. By tomorrow morning, I will have left this place. And now future perfect continuous. Future perfect continuous. By next week, we will have been working. Future perfect continuous is used to emphasize the duration, emphasize the duration of an action up to a certain time, up to a certain time. Oh, let me think once again. Okay, will have been staying. I will have been staying for 6 days. Yes, used to emphasize the duration of an action up to a certain time in the future, and it is usually used with by and for. For example, by tomorrow, we will have been staying. We will have been staying here for 4 weeks. By next month, she will have been learning Chinese for 1 year. This one is also important. A question usually related to this will also be asked. यो एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट। 1 past अघिको है यो के थियो? Past continuous, past perfect, past continuous, past perfect, and this future perfect and future continuous. Exam most of the time tense ma sodhne question यिनैबाट हो most of the time. Every time while you are revising the lessons, revise this. Start with these 4 tenses. Just while transforming the sentence, what you find difficult in future tense?
मलाई सर सर यो फ्युचर टेन्समा ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको
जस्तो I will have eaten rice.
इन्टरप्रेटिभ गर्दाखेरि
I will have eaten rice. Negative. I will
इन्टरप्रेटिभ गर्दाखेरि
I will have eaten rice. Rice will have been eaten by me. जस्तो अब यसलाई इन्ट्रोगेटिभ बनाउनु पर्यो. Change it into interrogative. Will rice be eaten by me? Will rice have been? Will rice has been?
अरुको माइक अफ गरौँ न।
So we'll go for sentence transformation also.
फ्युचर को
एकैछिन साउन्ड सानो भयो के पुरा
क्वेशन बनाऊ न क्वेशन कुन आउँदैन मार्क गरिराख के
ल सर म भोलि डिस्कस गरौँ न
ओके
एक्सरसाइज गर्ने ल सर त्यसको
Okay. Tomorrow we will do the exercise. Exercise यतिकै यही गर्दा हुन्छ कि म टाइप गर्दै दिन्छु you keep on doing. Then I have to go for planned work. यतिकै सकिन्छ ल राजेन्द्र सर